So for about the past year or two, I've been on a quest to find the best deal that I can in the portable solar panel 100 to 120 watt output range. And I thought I had found what was the best deal at the time with the PowerNess 120. And I did a video on that that's gotten a lot of views. And I'm not going to link that video up here because it turns out that panel is no longer available, at least in the US. So I kept looking for an alternative that I could point people in the direction of that might be a good, suitable replacement for that particular solar panel. And I think I may have actually found one that's better. This is not a sponsored video. I bought this with my own money, and I want to check it out, find out if this is a suitable replacement or even better than what I was trying to recommend with that PowerNess 120. Let's find out. All right, so let's do a quick unboxing on this and see what we got. Actually, I already had it out of the box. I haven't hooked this up yet. I haven't done any testing with this yet. That's going to come in a few minutes or less. But in the meantime, let's find out what we've got. So right off the bat, I'm seeing much wider legs on this thing than was on the PowerNess. So, and they do have the elastic with the little three-way catch on there, which makes it a lot easier to fold up. And that is something that I appreciated on the JACKERY SolarSaga 100 as well as the PowerNess. Canvas material, this Oxford canvas material, just like the JACKERY, which is kind of the leader in quality in this field. Now, this is not necessarily a waterproof pouch. It doesn't have any waterproofing around the zipper, I'm noticing. But that's not a big deal because normally you keep these things out of the rain, at least the back part anyway. And you can see we got a whole bunch, 10 different connectors on here. The native connector that comes off the panel, and this is a nice long cable, by the way. This is at least an 8-foot long cable. I'm not sure what millimeter style this is on this particular connector type. But if this isn't what you need, one of these probably is. And if one of these isn't what you need, one of these probably is. So this one's got MC4 connectors on the end. So if you're trying to plug this into something, whether maybe it's a parallel adapter and you've got maybe another rigid panel that outputs to MC4 cables or connectors, this would be something that you could do that pretty easily with. And then it's got an Anderson connector splitter on one side. And then I think this looks like it's a 2-pin threaded connector. I think this is called an aviation connector. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I would really appreciate that. But I think this is what you'll find on things like maybe the Blue Eddies, for example. Any of them that use that sort of screw-on style aviation connector. It looks to me like they've got you covered for just about everything. Oh, and they also apparently throw in 4 mini carabiners here. Now these are great for tying these things down. This does have grommets in it, not little nylon loops. So that's nice. It's a little more robust for tying this thing down. And it comes with a pretty nice user guide here. It's with color pictures in it and everything. This is actually a very nice user guide. And I have to say, I'll put a little picture up here. The day this arrived, which was actually today, I got an email almost within an hour from Amazon, from the seller of this panel, basically reassuring me about customer service and how if there's anything wrong, they want me to let them know about it right away and they'll make it right. So right away, I'm pretty impressed with that. I'm not sure how you say this. Ela cuenta. It sounds Spanish, but I don't think it is. But I'm not sure how you say that. I guess it's probably not really important. Let's see what we've got. This has a little USB charge box in here. And I'll give you a close-up of that. It's got a Type A connector, and it's got a Type C connector. And what's really cool about this, because this did not exist on the PowerNess, and it definitely does not exist on the JACKERY Saga 100, this Type C connector is a power delivery 45 watt. So if you have got a power station that's got power delivery input Type C, you can actually get sort of bonus watts out of this thing. A lot of times, even if, and we're going to test to find out if that actually works on this panel or not. So you'll see. But this is a really kind of a cool way that you can, if this is as a second panel or even just a single panel, get a few extra watts into your power station to reduce that recharge time. So that's what's in the bag. we'll take a look at the panel itself. It's got a couple of straps here. These are nice and easy push straps. And this right away we'll hopefully notice here, and I'm not going to be able to open this thing all the way. So you've got 4 panels, and this is a monocrystalline panel, a monocrystalline solar cell. And that is better because they are made out of single wafers rather than small fragments that have been fused together in a polycrystalline solar cell. So these are typically a little bit more expensive and they have better output. But also you'll notice it's got that ETFE coating on here. I'll give you a better close-up of that when we get outside and test this thing in a couple of different conditions. And I'm going to test it against the SolarSaga 100 to see what the difference is. The price on this thing, as I have yet to have mentioned, I think I mentioned it in the post on the other video, but the price on this thing I think normally is $230, and it had a $40 coupon, so it was basically 190 bucks is what it cost me. So I don't know how long that coupon is going to last, but you may want to jump on that while they're still doing that. So anyway, you'll find that on the Amazon link below. Go check that out. And again, this is not sponsored. I went ahead and spent the 190 bucks for this thing just to make sure I was recommending the right thing to you. So let's jump over and do some testing with this thing and see how it all shakes out. All right, I've got both panels set up. Pretty windy out, very overcast. So you see I've got these at approximately the same angles here. There are only 2 legs on the a la Cuenta. This does make it a little easier to set up, but I don't think it's really a problem. I think this last panel does tend to sag just a hair. So we're getting some variable sun. Let's take a look at what we've got. So there's the sun. It is shining and it is casting a shadow, as you can see by the little fence post here, or the lamp post. So we are getting a shadow. So this is modest sun. So I've got the Jackery cable plugged in right now. I'm getting, like I said, it's pretty variable. But I'm getting anywhere from 50 to up to around 70 watts, depending on what the sun is doing and how thick the clouds are at that particular moment. So this is going to be a little bit hard comparison test because there is a pretty variable condition. But let's quickly plug in the Cuenta and see what we get with that. You can see we're getting the same kind of mid-50s on the inputs. It's pretty comfortable. We're losing the shadow, so we're going to see it go down. Yeah, so we're down at low 40s. Let's see what the Jackery's going to do in this same low 40s. This is what you can expect typically out of a 100 to 120 watt panel in overcast conditions. So again, this is the Jackery, so I'm getting low 40s as well. So I'm not, it's really hard to say whether I'm getting any output gain from the 120 watt panel or not. Doesn't change the fact I'm getting at least as much, maybe a little bit more. It's really hard to tell with these conditions. When I have a crystal clear sunny day, I'll get a better read on that. Yeah, but this is what you can expect. And if you're new to solar, this is what you can expect if it's semi-cloudy, like partly cloudy. So you can see I've got a pretty good thick cloud passing in front of the sun right now. So we're getting a pretty substantial drop in production. So this is the Cuenta panel, 30 watts. Back to the Jackery. So just a little bit lower, about 10% lower. All right, here's a neat trick. We've got, well, this shows up 69 watts going into the Rockhouse 300, and it does have a 30 watt PD port on it. And there's a 45 watt port on this solar panel. Now obviously we're not going to get 45 watts out of this with the conditions that we have because we're not even getting the full output from the panel at this point. But even with a single panel, you can bump that. I'm still reading 69 watts. Plug my Type-C cable in there. You can see now I'm reading 77 watts. So I'm not getting like a massive bump or anything, but this is what I mean by when I say bonus watts. I'm getting 8 bonus watts here I wouldn't get if I didn't plug in this Type-C cable. So I find that kind of cool on these overcast days. It's kind of, you take every little watt that you can get. So I have to say that I would be recommending this panel even if that PowerNess 120 was still available, which is not. But I'm convinced this is actually a better deal than that PowerNess 120 is or was. You get far more connector types, and they're pretty much a connector in there for anything that you're likely to have. And I like the fact that it's got that PD 45 watt output, giving you the extra bonus watts, we'll call it. And it's still got all that great construction. Now the Jackery is still going to be a little bit quicker and easier to deploy because it's just a 2-panel design, and it's got that little magnetic clasp. But this, I mean, for the extra 6 seconds that it's going to take me to deploy this, you know, I'm willing to save, what, the $110 to get a little bit better output out of this thing, and all of those connectivity options with virtually the same quality construction. So anyway, I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up. I would super appreciate that. And if you're not already a subscriber, consider subscribing. We got more videos coming, more power stations, some things like a 12-volt refrigerator coming up real soon. It's a new product from a company called New Air. It's very cool. You'll want to check that out if you're a boondocker, traveler, car camper type person. So anyway, that's all I got for you. I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, have fun out there.